distinguished Director Generals, Executive Directors, and other senior officials from both Namibia and South Africa, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm good morning to each and every one of you. Allow me, at the onset, Co-Chair, to express on behalf of the Namibian delegation, and indeed on my own behalf, profound thanks and appreciation to you and the government and the people of South Africa for the warm welcome and cordial hospitality accorded to us since our arrival in your beautiful country, and of course, particularly in Pretoria. For many of us here today, South Africa is really home. Many of us pursued our studies, tertiary education here, and the history of our two countries and culture heritage is so intertwined that we are bound to cooperate. Hence, the wisdom of our heads of state in 2012 to elevate the bilateral mechanisms through which we cooperate to a binational commission. Co-Chair, the binational commission is an essential mechanism to strengthen the diplomatic, economic, social and cultural ties, as well as the defense and security cooperation that so happily and cordially exists between our two sister republics. In many respects, the implementation of the outcomes of our binational commissions are intended to contribute towards our national efforts aimed at addressing the socio-economic challenges that our people are confronted with today. As we gather here today, we will generally reflect on how we, as senior and technical officials, have assisted our principals within our respective offices, ministries, and agencies to execute the 159 directives issued by our heads of state at the third session of the BNC. We take pride in the considerable progress achieved thus far. And where matters remain outstanding, we see this session as a welcome opportunity to secure renewed mandate from our principals and to chart a clear, confident path towards completing them for the mutual benefit of the peoples of our countries. Co-Chair, I take note of the proposals that you have put on the table with regards to deeper regional integration as well as economic cooperation in the fields of hydrocarbons and minerals. Some of the successes we have recorded through this permanent structured mechanism of the BNC include the partial implementation of the Presidential Drought Relief Program, which entails the installation of boreholes across several drought-stricken countries of Namibia through funds allocated by the African Renaissance International Cooperation Fund. Co-Chair, Namibia is semi-arid. We are prone to droughts, and the El Nino coming this year, this initiative has really assisted us to buttress some of those issues that we'll be having with the drought. We have also managed to establish and reactivate very important joint committees responsible for ensuring implementation of bilateral agreements and memoranda of understanding between our two countries. Namibia is particularly pleased to note the reactivation of the meetings of the Joint Management Committee responsible for ensuring the effective implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding in the field of agriculture between our two countries. Co-Chair, you had mentioned that earlier on as well. I am sure that we will all agree with me that as agriculture is core to the work that we do for food security, amongst others. The meetings of the Joint Management Committee on Agriculture, which took place in Windhoek, are of utmost importance to swiftly address any potential disagreements and chart a strategic path for the challenges facing us to avoid severe negative consequences, including job losses in industries such as agriculture, which contribute significantly to our economies. Co-Chair, distinguished colleagues, Namibia is further pleased to note the success we have recorded in cooperation on health and education sector, as quite a significant number of Namibian students are pursuing studies at various educational institutions in South Africa. We have 125 Namibian health professionals who are currently undertaking various health specialization courses at universities in South Africa. We will always cherish this level of cooperation with South Africa, and as our two countries continue engaging on matters relating to migration, we remain confident that the strength of our historical bonds and the goodwill between our governments will guide us towards durable, mutually beneficial solutions. Namibia looks forward to greater momentum in the implementation of the decision regarding the Kudu gas power project. Co-Chair, you went elaborated on how the hydrocarbons that have been discovered in the Orange Basin, how we can create a corridor for exploitation and development of these. This exciting project holds great promise for strengthening the energy security of our two countries, as it is expected to generate 800 megawatts of electricity in 2 phases, with the final phase geared towards the transfer of 400 of these to South Africa. We are optimistic that this session of the BNC will help us finalize the modalities needed to kickstart this landmark project. We see real opportunity to accelerate the implementation of some of the decisions of the BNC, and this session gives us the chance to develop stronger modalities to ensure the effective implementation of all the decisions. Namibia is encouraged by and is inclined to propose that we adopt a similar mechanism recently established by the BNC between Botswana and South Africa in May 2026 in the form of a coordination and implementation committee to accelerate implementation of agreed programs and projects and to ensure the timely execution of agreements and memoranda of understanding under the Namibia-South Africa BNC framework. Co-Chair, I'm aware of the following MOUs that are potentially ready for the signature during this session of the BNC. The draft bilateral air services agreement, MOU of understanding, MOU in the application of software to administer and maintain the national vehicle and driver registration by means of national traffic system, MOU in the field of employment and labor, MOU in police matters, MOU between the National School of Governance of South Africa and the Namibia Institute of Public Administration, MOU on cooperation in correctional services, and then the Economic Partnership Agreement establishing the Namibia-South Africa Business Council, which is a private sector MOU. Thus, if there are any outstanding technical issues that need to be ironed out, I am sure we can engage constructively during our senior officials meeting to enable us to inform the ministers that those MOUs and agreements can be signed at the summit on Friday in front of the heads of state. Co-Chair, it would be remiss of me not to briefly address the potential issues of mutual interest and concern at the regional, continental, and global levels that will come up in our discussions during our deliberations at this session of the BNC. Namibia remains hopeful that lasting peace can be achieved for the conflicts affecting our world, including on the mother continent, where the situations in countries such as Sudan, South Sudan, and the Democratic Republic of Congo continue to evoke our collective consciousness and our shared commitment to finding a solution. We similarly, at the multilateral level, remain seized with the situation of human rights of the peoples of Western Sahara and Palestine, who continue to be denied their legitimate rights to self-determination in contravention of international law, including the relevant resolutions of the United Nations. With these remarks, Co-Chair, allow me to once again thank you for hosting us. I'm confident that together we will build on the strong progress of the preceding BNCs and unlock even greater achievements at this session. Let me assure you of the full support and commitment of the Namibian delegation towards a very successful meeting, and I look forward to our fruitful deliberations. I thank you for your attention.